76 degrees. You know, the side button on my on my phone, it's not functioning very well. And I don't know, I have insurance on it, but man, if I call, I'm gonna have to like get everything transferred and all that jazz. And do I really want it, or can I just press the little camera icon, you know? So what has everyone been up to? I have been gone a couple of days. Oh, you all, look. We all know what song that is. Okay, turn it down before YouTube's like, strike! Oh God, I hope they don't strike my channel. Please don't strike my channel. Should I just start over? Should I start my recording over? Because, yeah, I don't want to, like... Is that the car that's always... You all, there's been drama over here. There has been a lot of... That car just reminded me of it. These cars have been parking outside my bedroom. And that's a no parking area. You know? The thing is that it wouldn't bother me so much. Let me turn that a little bit more. I'm just turning. Oh, is there a cop over there? Gotta watch out for those cops. It wouldn't bother me so much if they wouldn't park right outside my bedroom window. You know? It's not even a foot away from my window. And if I had my curtains open, they could totally see me, you know? Anyway, it's just an invasion of privacy. It's not very private, not very safe. And so I told the landlady about it. She swore to me up and down that she took care of it. That she talked with the apartments, you know, that she feels that is doing all this. And so I'm like, okay, great. And it was a really good week and everything. Saturday comes around. There's like 3 cars parked right outside my bedroom window. And I'm like, you're kidding me. I spent most of Saturday in the living room, so I didn't even hear them. And when I went to go throw the trash, I saw those cars out there, and I took a picture of it, and I sent it to her, right? And then she's like, well, do you know what apartment it's coming from? And I said, no. I said, I thought it was 16. And she's like, no, it's 14. And I was like, okay, well then if you know, why aren't you doing anything about it? What the hell is wrong with this lady, right? And I'm like, why is she playing these little games? Why do landlords, landladies especially, like to play these little games? Like, let's put this tenant against this tenant, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see what drama I can create. And I'm like, you know, take care of it, please. You know, this is like so inconvenience, you know? Inconvenient. Get it together, Moon. Okay, so Sunday comes around. Nobody's there, right? And I talked to one of the neighbors, and one of the neighbors was like, she's not going to do anything about it. And I said, I know, I've been complaining for over a month already about it, and she hasn't done anything, right? And at that moment, that's when she sent me the text saying that, no, it's apartment 14, not 16. And that's when I told the neighbor, like, she knows who it is. Like, why is she not, like, coming over here and talking to them or calling them and tell them, hey, you know, have your guests move their cars. They are not allowed to park there. I made that very clear already last time, you know? But this lady, I don't know. She's got no cojones, you know? And so anyway, Sunday comes around, everything's fine during the day. You know, I went to church, I ran some errands, picked up a pizza for me and my son, you know, and I watched only the halftime show. I don't like football. It's not that I don't understand it. I just find it really, really boring. You know, it doesn't get my interest at all. And plus, I'm sorry, but I don't feel right that these athletes are getting paid so much money. And why? Why do entertainers get so much money? To me, okay, it's a sport, but they're also entertaining because they already know who's going to win. You know, that's my opinion. Okay, allegedly. My opinion. Anyway, so all of a sudden I hear doors slamming, right? Car doors slamming. And I look outside my window and there's 4 cars parked outside my window. And I was like, that's it, you know? And a lot of people were coming in and just parking wherever they felt like it. If I wasn't home, they would have taken my parking spot if they could. And I was like, what is up with these people? Like, everybody's just doing what they want, you know? And so I took a picture again. And I texted her first, the landlady. And I told her, you know, I'm sorry to bother you again, but there are 4 cars parked right outside my window now. And she's like, I was there until 5 o'clock and nobody was there. And then I sent the picture, right? And then she's like, okay, I will investigate and I'll find out who it is and I will talk to them. Yeah, sure, lady. That's what you said Saturday. These people, I thought I could believe her this time for sure that she would contact that apartment and let them know. But no, they stayed there till like about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And, you know, this time I did let her know that it's an invasion of my privacy. Like, I'm paying rent here to live safe and secure, and I'm not getting provided that. You know, there's people outside my damn window, and, you know, I don't feel safe and secure. And here's the thing, I can't even call the cops. If they get rowdy outside my window, yes, I can call the cops. But because it's private property, I cannot just call the cops and say, hey, there's these cars parked outside my window. It would have to come from her. Why she chooses not to do that is beyond me. She is just choosing not to take care of it, you know? For whatever reason, she's choosing not to take care of it. I understand that you're desperate for tenants, but you're going to lose another tenant pretty soon if you don't take care of this matter, you know? And I would hate to do that because I really liked it there. I really do. I was happy there the first year. No issues whatsoever with anyone or anything. These new people move in. 2 new people, actually. 2 new tenants moved in. 2 different apartments, which is 16 and 14. And all this crap starts. You know, unfortunately, you let in the bad apples, and that attracts more bad apples, and this is a result. You know, and I felt like telling her, where do you live? So I can go park outside your bedroom window and see how you like it. You know? But I don't know, man. Like, all evening tonight, every time I would hear a car door slam, I would look outside my window. And I'm like, okay, I need to stop because it's really stressing me out and my body does not need any stress right now. You know? I'm already dealing with something right now, a health issue, and the last thing I need is stress. So, about the halftime show, everybody and their grandmas talking about it, and it's literally even the grandmas, they're talking about it. No, I was not happy with it at all. As a Hispanic, I felt embarrassed. I felt that it really didn't bring all of the Latino community culture together at all. I understand he's Puerto Rican, right? I think, or he's a Cuban. I don't know. But he could have, the Latino culture, it falls into so many categories, right? And he could have brought it all together, but he failed to do so. And I don't even know if I said that right, but anyway, just go with it. And I didn't even understand what he was saying. The moment that he started singing, I was like sitting there on the couch. What the hell is he saying? Is it Spanish? Is it another Latin language? I don't understand, And I was just like, okay, let me just see like what he's representing here, what he's doing, what's the theme here, And I was trying to follow along with the theme. The theme was what? Half naked girls and some guys humping on them. That was the theme. That's what I got from it. And then I got some men on those electric poles with electric lines hanging upside down. Again, what the hell was that about? That's all I kept saying. What the hell is this? What the hell is that? That's all I kept saying throughout the whole halftime show. I even missed a piece of it where my cousin was telling me, well, they showed the words, the lyrics on the billboard behind him. And I was like, even if they did that, I missed that part. But even if they did that, it didn't even really go with what he was saying in my eyes and in my ears, okay? Because I was like, what was he singing about? She couldn't even tell me. All she kept telling me was, I loved it. I loved it. My boyfriend and I loved it. We loved it. And I really wasn't even paying attention too much to the lyrics. I was listening more to the music, and I love the music. And I'm going to get into her in a minute, okay? Because she really ticked me off. But anyway, I was like, no. There have been other Latinos that have been on halftime shows. Shakira, loved her. J-Lo, loved her. I know, don't even get me started about J-Lo, but I love her. I loved her when she performed, okay? That's all I could think of right now as far as Latinos, right? But if there's more, let me know, because I don't see every halftime show all the time, I just I pick and choose when I want to watch it. A lot of people didn't like Kendrick Lamar. I did. I like that one song that he sang. It's catchy. And he threw a jab at, what's his face? Oh my God, what is his face? I can picture him, but I can't remember his name. What is his name? Oh God. I'll have to put it in the comments because I can't remember right now. Anyway, so I liked it. Okay, it's that guy that rapper, real popular Canadian, and he was caught with a 15-year-old or 16-year-old or something like that. Why can't I think of his name right now? But you all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so I asked her, really? You really liked it? You all loved it? And she's like, oh, yes. And I was like, what? And she's like, especially at the end, love, don't hate. I was like, you don't find that ironic? And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, all they ever show is hate. She's like, how so? What do they hate? And I said, ICE. Well, so do I, because they take advantage of people and they're kidnapping people and taking them away. And I said, but you do realize that these are people that came in illegally, right? No, they're doing it to everybody. cousin, you and I are both Hispanic and we're still here, so it's not everybody. And she's like, well, in the other towns and other cities and other states, look at what they did to that lady. And I said, are you referring to that lady in Minnesota? Well, yes, they shot her. And she was innocent. I said, no. She was already harassing the officers. She was trying to leave and they wouldn't let her. And it's not her fault that cop almost got hit, or that agent rather. It's not her fault. She was trying to leave. And I was like, cousin, slow down. They were telling, it was already too late for her to leave. I said, she was already asked to get out of her vehicle. Yeah, but why should she? Because it's a person of authority asking you to get out of the vehicle. She doesn't have to get out of her vehicle. She could have just left like she tried, and they did not have to shoot her. And I'm like, cousin, listen to me, please. I know you're on your rant right now. Oh, there goes a fire engine. Fire department. I know you're on your rant and you believe you are right, but just hear me out. She was already following these officers, right? She was already following them around. She did not even live in that neighborhood. She had no business in that neighborhood. She was already harassing them all day. They have told her all day to leave them alone, go away, go home. She refused to do that. Then her wife came into the picture and started harassing the officers with her, even though they had already pulled her over. Okay? And they were still telling her to go home, but they kept escalating the situation. And by that point, they told her, you need to exit your vehicle. You're going to be detained. You refuse to listen to us. That's it. Get out of your vehicle. Her wife told her, go, baby, go. And the lady just took off without even seeing to where she was going to go and sideswiped one of the officers. Well, that's not her fault. She was trying to get away, and it's not her fault that that officer was there. He should have moved. And by this point, I'm like starting to hit myself on the head with my hand. I'm like, are you serious right now? You're joking with me, right? Surely you are joking with me. No. They had no right to take her life. And I was like, look, I agree to a certain degree with you. Should she have gotten shot in the face? No. And I'm sorry, TMI, if it's too graphic for some of you. No. He could have tried to shoot her in the arm, the chest, elsewhere, However, at that moment, he didn't know what else she was going to do. She already sideswiped him. He acted on his reflexes. Somebody pushes you, what's going to be your reflex? You're going to push back right away. Somebody comes up to you, pushes you, shoves you. Are you just going to stand there and be like, I'm trying to get away? Or are you going to push them back? Because that's your reflex, right? You're going to push them back and you're going to be, don't push me. And you're going to push them back. So this officer reacted to a threat at that moment. And she's like, it wasn't a threat. Somebody tries to hit you with their vehicle and it's not a threat to you. And she's like, no, she was trying to leave. They wouldn't let her. I said, okay, let me try this then. A police officer pulls you over because you're speeding, right? And you know you're speeding. So they pull you over. They ask for your license and your insurance. Are you going to sit there and argue with them? Well, I'm going to ask them why they pulled me over. They're pulling you over because you were speeding. They tell you, ma'am, do you know how fast you were going? And I'm going to say, no, I don't. If I'm in a hurry, I don't know how fast I'm going. I said, all right, well, they do. They can find out how fast you're going, right? They use that little machine, whatever you call it, where they can get to see how fast you're going. And they tell you, you were going, say, 55 when it was 40. Okay, so just give me the ticket and let me go. And I said, well, but if you have that attitude where you're asking them why, and the attitude that you're telling me right now with that tone, and you're going to keep asking them why they pulled you over, eventually they're going to tell you, you know what, just get out of your vehicle. And then I would ask them why again. And no, I would refuse to get out of my vehicle. I said, well, you do know that they can pull you out at that point. Well, that's harassment already. At that point, I was like, okay, this girl is lost. She sounds just like the people that they pull over when I watch those other videos of people getting pulled over, and they're like, why you pulling me over? Why? 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 And they're like, ma'am, because you're speeding. Ma'am, because they called us because you stole something. Ma'am, because you're driving like swervy. Are you under the influence? No. Why? 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 That's what she started to sound like with me. And I was just like, oh, hell no. No. I'm not going to listen to this, you know? And I said, okay. I said, so you honestly don't believe that ICE officers have any right to arrest people that are in this country illegally? You're okay with letting them pass by, right? And she's like, well, yeah, they're not harming me. Why? Why should I care? And then here's the thing that got me. I told her, you do realize that lady that got shot, her and her wife were abusing 2 out of the 3 kids that she had. Her 2 kids were taken away because the wife was not only beating on them, but burning cigarettes on their arms. And again, TMI, trigger warning. And do you know what she said? She says, that does not justify them shooting her in the head. So I'm like, wow. So we're defending child abusers now. Wow. Wow, cousin. And listen, she brought up another instance about the wrongdoing of ICE. The 5-year-old. The 5-year-old that they separated from his father. I said, no, ma'am, he was not separated. The father actually left him behind while he was fleeing ICE. He didn't even look back. He just took off. Well, now they deported both of them. Well, don't you think that's better that they didn't deport them separately? You know, like they deported the father and the son together. Here, sir, take your son and go back to your country. I fail to see how wrong that is. I finally told her, you know what, you and I just don't see eye to eye, and I think we need to stop this conversation because it's getting really heated. You're starting to raise your voice. I'm trying to have a calm conversation with you. I'm trying to let you know the real story and not what you're hearing on the news. Definitely not what her boyfriend's telling her, because her boyfriend's full of shit. But anyway, her boyfriend's from Chicago. What does that tell you? So anyway, and no, I'm sorry to anybody else that's from Chicago. That's definitely not a liberal, but you know. Anyhow, but then I started thinking like, wow, she defended a child abuser, but yet to her, it wasn't child abuse when his father abandoned his own 5-year-old with the ICE officers and only cared about himself at that moment to get away. To her, that was not child abuse. It is so double-minded. And it's all of convenience. And it's just this mentality of, I don't care what you tell me, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm going to win this conversation, and that's it. Her and I might be from the same family, but we're cut from a different cloth. That is why I'm the black sheep in my family. Out of all of my family, I am the black sheep. Even with the husband and his family, I am still the black sheep. I even lost, my older son. I didn't lose my older son, but what I mean to say is that he and I were really like hardcore Trump supporters back in 2016. Now that he got with his liberal girlfriend, and I have nothing against her, she's really sweet and everything, we don't discuss politics at all, and I want to leave it that way. However, he has changed. He has switched sides. So I'm like, that's what I mean by I lost a son. Like, wow, he got brainwashed too. Everybody in my family is like that. My younger son, the one I'm picking up right now, he has nothing to do with it. He doesn't want anything to do with it at all. But he is listening to a coworker that's telling him something different. Like, oh, did you hear Bad Bunny had to wear a bulletproof vest to the Super Bowl because of ICE? Like, where is she getting her information from? I said, oh, really? That's what she told you? Okay. I don't know about that vest, if he was wearing one or not. I mean, I would definitely think that any celebrity would. You never know. Some crazies out here. But is it really because of that reason? Or was it for their own safety? But anyhow, it's just... Why are people so quick to be influenced by lies and not the truth? I don't understand that. And it started making me think about even faith. People are so quick to want to believe the devil. They'll believe the devil before they believe in God. And I'm like, what? How and why? It's just things that I don't understand. And they'll believe in witchcraft and not the word of God. That is what my older son and his girlfriend practice now. They will put water in a jar and let the moonlight hit it overnight, and it's moon water, and they use it to practice what they practice. And they do other things as well that they don't tell me about anymore because they know I'm going to get mad. But but you know what? Let me back up. Praise God. She's now going to a Christian church. And I'm going to join them this Thursday, God willing, Well, God is always willing. Amen. But hopefully I will be able to go. I have 2 appointments on Thursday, and I'm like, okay, it depends how I feel because they're both doctor appointments. One of them is counseling, the other one's a doctor, and sometimes I just get really I feel really depleted by the end of the day from these appointments, that I'm just like, do I really want to go somewhere? But this is church, so, I'm really going to try my hardest to go, just to visit their church. My son's girlfriend, I don't know if my son's going or not, but my other cousin is going, the brother of this cousin that I'm telling you all about. He goes there too. His son goes, and so does his girlfriend. So yeah, it's gonna be like a little family thing, right? But yeah, I don't get it, you all. I just don't get it. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. my cousin, look, I can't even talk right now. My cousin used to be on the same side as me as well. She got with this boyfriend, I don't know what in the world he's feeding her, but now she is totally against Trump. She despises Trump. And I really fear for Texas. We've always been a red state. And I'm afraid that Texas is going to turn. I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to say it. Why are people not wanting to accept the truth? I don't get it. Listen, I was a Democrat for the longest time. I voted for Obama. I was happy when he won. I had tears in my eyes. I didn't wake up until the end of 2015 and going into 16. That's when I woke up. That's when I started hearing about all these things and what's being released now, finally. And that got me to change my mind really quick. And before anybody says, well, it's both sides. Yes, I understand that. But you know, there's only maybe a handful of the right side that's like that. And there's a lot of other good people that outweigh those bad few apples. Whereas on the left side, it's every freaking buddy. There's not one good person there. There's not one person that I can say, well, yeah, maybe Kamala is a good person. So, yeah, if she ever runs again, which she is, I heard, I'll go ahead and vote for her. No, they're all bad. So, no, you can't say that one is better than the other. You really can't. But I would still rather be on the right side. Because like I said, there's way more good people on the right side than bad. Oh, God. And you know, oddly enough, even though a lot of people believe what's going on with the Epstein files, everything that's being revealed, why are we still talking about the Super Bowl and not outraged about those names that have been redacted? And I'm not talking about the victims. I'm talking about the people that were sending these emails to Epstein and saying those horrific things in those emails. Why aren't those people being questioned, and why are their names redacted? Why are their names not revealed? Why are we not protesting out in the streets about that? How do we expect the law to do their job? Because a lot of people are complaining, arrest them. There should be arrest. How come there's no arrest? How come? Because people are bitching about officials that are doing their job. So make up your mind. Do you want the officials to do their job or not? Do we pick and choose who, when, and what we want arrested? I'm done. I am done. Thank you for listening. Love you all. Stay in faith. Bye.